Okay. I think it might be the server I'm streaming to. Cause it cuts off, and then there's like 2 or 3 times where I try to reconnect and it says like connection timed out, couldn't connect to server. So I'm thinking it might be the server that I was streaming to, so I just changed it to a different one, so hopefully that won't happen again.
It takes more than muscle to win a fight. Blast!
Yeah, I might do that. I might do that also. But just the fact that it would, like 2 or 3 times, I would hit start stream and it would say the connection timed out to the server. I think it might be the actual server I was going to is like having problems.
I'm glad I could be of help. We got it! I'm not good at holding back. Let's do this! What?
Even if we're apart, I'll be there in a flash.
Let's see. I'll do my best. Do you really think you can catch me? You can't escape my blade!
Okay. Yeah, so let's see what the fire summon looks like.
Linking to the material. Ready to operate. Code M.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
I guess that's a do-over, huh?
So the only summon we haven't seen yet is Earth.
For it. That thing's like solid metal.
Frontal attack won't get us anywhere. Maybe if we focus our magic against its weak points.
If we do that, we'll be in trouble when our MP runs out. My sword should be able to penetrate its defenses. We'll need a precision attack combining Arno's magic with my sword. Jude, Yuli, you two support us. In other words, teamwork, right? I'll do my best.
Many enemies possess special attributes, so it's important to identify and use attacks that are effective against these attributes. Pay attention to hints you find, and you'll be able to make use of the Analyze command.
How about here?
I want to help everyone. I can do it. Don't underestimate me. Where to go? I'll do my best. I'll support with items. Allow me.
Relax and leave it to me.
I can do it. I'll stir things up. Here's another way to use them. Think you can take me on? I want to help everyone. I'll support with items.
Oh, you cut your shit.
Well, okay, let's see what I can do. Yeah! this smartly. Bye-bye pain!
I want to help.
I mean, that won't really do anything. It's not happening. Or it's not attacking, it's just poisoning.
It takes more than muscle to win a fight. Time to cut loose! This teamwork thing isn't half bad.
A lot of the enemies you'll face will have special characteristics. Monsters like that one with strong defensive abilities are best handled by my sword. On the other hand, my attack magic is effective against soft-bodied monsters which would easily absorb regular physical blows. And with your ranged attack, Jude. So I can attack opponents who are high above us, those that others wouldn't be able to reach, right? Since I'm a paladin, I can heal injuries. I can also support everyone with my magic. Compared to monsters, human beings are weak creatures. To triumph, we need to combine our limited power and use it intelligently. Yeah, well, using his intellect isn't exactly Jude's forte. That's okay. There's more than one way to win a battle. The key to victory is to choose the best card from your hand and deal with the enemy. Sounds a little confusing, but I'll give this teamwork thing a try. To toggle encounters on and off, press R2 button.
Let's rest for a bit.
Oh, we can... Well, hell, let's get rid of the stupid typo. Back in town, you said something about being a drifter. Yeah, simply put, I'm a jack of all trades for hire. An adventurer who travels from one place to the next in search of jobs. I'm actually kind of famous as a drifter, you know. So, what sort of things have you done? I've explored ruins, exterminated monsters. Once I even guarded a caravan. I've worked all sorts of jobs before, but on the most recent one, I was hired to find a certain girl and take her into my protection. I did my job and managed to locate the girl who had gone into hiding, but the employer turned stingy on me. No matter how long I waited, I never got paid. On top of that, they kept secrets from me, too. In order for a job to be successful, a drifter and his employer need to be able to trust each other, you know? Well, they locked up the girl, saying they would protect her, and took her to a floating shelter in the sky. And so I... What? Hey, isn't that what you did to Yuli? Are drifters people who get paid to do bad things? No, it's not like that. Sorry about what happened. I mean, I was a victim too. There are some drifters who do bad things. In fact, the majority may be that way. However, there are definitely some drifters who use their skills to help others. Being a drifter in and of itself isn't good or bad thing, but there are good ones and bad ones. Are you a drifter too, Raquel? I've lent my strength to others on occasion, and if I don't earn any money, I can't continue my journey. But I've never taken a job I've regretted. I'd like to keep thinking of myself as a good drifter. Exactly, I feel the same way. I want to help people. No one in Seal needed any special help. Why are there people in the outside world who are in so much trouble, but they need help from others? Oh, that's right, you don't know anything about it, do you? About what? A little over 10 years ago, there was a catastrophe which destroyed the planet's environment along with the hearts of its people. The Figal you see now is a direct result of it. Damn it. The statue's been broken. How awful. Who would do something like... It wasn't a who, but rather a what. The war is responsible for this. War? Now that you mention it, Mom did say something about that back on that day. The war ended about 10 years ago. It had enveloped the whole of Filgaia, and it seemed like it would go on forever. It destroyed so much. The planet's environment, the hearts of the people. The war destroyed many of the beautiful things in this world. Sadly, this is probably one of them too. I wonder how many beautiful things remain in this world that I'll be able to see on my journey. Raquel, there are still beautiful things here after all. They haven't all disappeared from the world. Gunfire! Those soldiers we ran into earlier must have come to settle the score. Hey, that's... I heard my men were made into total fools earlier. Acting Commander Tony on probation. Hardly surprising, but I figured I ought to go check things out. It looks like it paid off. Dude, don't just jump into the fray like that. You're stopping me again, Arnaud. You want me to just lie down and take it this time too? These idiots, they shot the flowers just to threaten us. They destroyed these tiny flowers just for that. Why do I have to get dragged into this? I can't stand you little brats. This time I'm gonna pummel you right into the ground. And I'll get credit for capturing you too, little Miss Guinea Pig.
I'm ready to go. Okay, here we go.
Children need to learn their place. Take that.
I won't miss this opportunity.
How about here?
No rest for my relentless blade.
Okay, so all the elements are halved. Weak to short circuit.
Children need to learn their place.
I'll cut you down.
What?
Let's do this smartly.
Perfect timing. I'll do it. Linking to the material.
need to learn their place.
This should be interesting. My blade has no effect.
You damn little kids! Fall back! Fall back! Retreat, damn it! This isn't the last you'll see of me, you punks!
Who the heck are those guys? Probably former soldiers. Smoldering violence walking around in human form with no place to go now that the war is over. Still, those weapons they were carrying, they may in fact be more than just a bunch of has-been soldiers. They were such pretty flowers. Are you always doing crazy things like that? No, not all the time. Last time it was because they were trying to do bad things to Yuli and the people of Seal. Today it was because you risk yourself just for the sake of some flowers. In other words, he's just a kid. Maybe so, but I think it's something to be proud of. I don't really understand. It's not something you have to understand yourself. As long as the people around you know, that's enough. I'd like to thank you, Jude, for myself and on behalf of this flower as well. Thanks. If I could have one wish, I'd ask that you never lose that wonderful heart of yours. I'd love to see what you're like when you're all grown up. Let's hear your report, Captain Lambda. Yes, sir. We have confirmed multiple arm activation waveforms. We've also pinpointed the source coordinates with a high degree of certainty. The soldier out to gain a little glory for himself caused some delays earlier, but it sounds as though things will work out somehow. Those in power are corrupted by it. As they wield power, they succumb to the pleasures of oppression and become incapable of making wise or constructive decisions. As we have always said, the military must be regulated by civilian representatives. That is to say, our consensus supersedes all. It is as you say. I take full responsibility for failing to properly manage the military. To atone for this shame, I shall deploy my personal elite force, Brianak. You can expect good tidings in the near future. Brianak, eh? Special Forces unit which also goes by the name of the Piercing Lance. The lethal dagger you keep close at hand, but you're going to send them into action. You graduated at the top of your class at the old academy. I expected innovative strategies from you. Why do you use such orthodox methods? At the academy, I merely carried out the orders I was given, something even a dog could do. Besides, graduating at the top of the class is quite meaningless in this situation. Even standing before us, he speaks his mind clearly. In that case, we'd like you to show us that you're more than just a dog. Allow us to ask, what will you do without any orders? What conviction do you seek to carry out? The only conviction that pierces my heart is to create a future for Velgaia. I shall return to Brianak Base at once and send the lieutenants to secure Yulia trade. Velgaia's future is our future as well. Show us the future reflected in your eyes, Captain Lambda Zellweger. Ugh. I don't see the green point that they were talking about. Oddly enough, at this point in the game, I think selling the Gela cards will get me more money than actually using them. Okay, so I picked up a part to modify his gun, but I don't know where to go to modify it. Mom says if I don't behave myself when I'm home alone, a Crimson Noble will take me away and suck all my blood. And according to the book I read the other day, Crimson Nobles are weakened by sunlight. So if during the day I watch out for people wearing costumes or clothes that block the sun, and if at night I watch out for people with weird fangs, I'll be fine, right? Okay, still though, where is the green meeting point that I'm looking for that it told me about? Oh, there it is. Hey, welcome back, Samato. I never expected to run into them in a place like this. Don't worry, I'll protect you. Aren't you scared of adults, Jude? Why do you say that? I'm scared, especially of soldiers. Most adults are cruel, but not all adults are like that. The adults in my village scolded me a lot, but they weren't bad people. You're right, I'm sorry. In theory, I understand that all adults aren't bad, but... Jude, you know, if you keep acting recklessly against those soldiers, it's just a matter of time before you do something you'll regret. Are you saying we should just pretend we don't see them do those terrible things? That's not what I mean. I'm saying you need to learn to compromise some. Compromise? It's something I learned through years of living amidst conflict. A very important skill for adults to have. You can't see everything in black or white and jump out without thinking things through first. I was wrong? Look, kid, what I'm trying to say is stop looking at things as if they're always either completely right or wrong. But if you always compromise, you'll never change anything. Deciding whether things should change or not is something for adults to do. Rebelling against every little thing shows you're still a child. And you're okay with that? What do you mean? You don't care if adults like those soldiers do awful things to you? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But there's no question that your logic would only hold up in a world full of children with no adults. I don't really like what you're saying, but I see where you're coming from. But I also see that you're trying really hard to convince yourself of what you're saying. Hey now, don't go tacking your own punchline to other people's lines. When you put it that way, you make it sound like you and I are both kids. By the way, your swordsmanship is amazing, Raquel. I was learning swordsmanship too, but I kept skipping my lessons. I was forced to study the sword even before I was 10 years old. I wasn't really that interested in myself, but my instructor and parents both praised my potential. I picked up the basics, and as for the rest, I've been working on my own style throughout my travels. You mean you're self-taught? Wow, you must really have a talent for the sword. I don't know if it could be called talent. When I was a child, I wanted to hold a paintbrush more than I did a sword, but the people around me weren't as impressed with that choice for some reason. So you've liked pictures since you were little? Yeah, that's why I'm enjoying my journey. Painting pictures as I travel from place to place. Can I see your paintings, Raquel? All I have with me right now are some practice works, but someday... Yes, I'd like to show them to you someday. Okay. I was thinking those has-been soldiers were after me, but it seems they wanted something else. They want me, and the power I have to regulate arms. The power to regulate arms? When I lost control of my arm in Seal, and your power embraced me, was that the same power I have? It looks similar, but it's completely different. I can interact with arms that are already there, adjusting and controlling them somewhat, but I can't refine an arm from its raw form. I don't have the kind of high-level driver compatibility that you do. They wanted me to have that power, but... Then what exactly is my power? I don't know the truth myself. Jude, when you were young, did you ever live in some sort of facility? A facility? No, I think I've always lived in that village. That's the only place I remember. I see. It seems we are different, just as I thought. When I was young, my power was given to me in that facility. I wasn't born with it. But you, that's not true for your power, is it? I have my power for a different reason than you? Then why am I able to use this arm thing? I can't answer that for certain myself. But before we go on, let me tell you this one more time, Jude. If you get any more involved in this, you won't be able to turn back. You may have to keep running and running from those adults who want your power. Do you still want to know about it? To be honest, I'm scared, but I'm even more scared of never knowing anything. If learning things I don't know means broadening my horizons, then I want to get involved. I think somewhere in that bigger world is where I'll find Mom and the others from the village. Yuli, I want to know about myself. Alright. When we headed for Kulain Temple, I looked at Raquel's map and could tell where we were. I think the area we were in isn't very far from the facility where I grew up. If you go there, you may be able to learn something about yourself, Jude. Yuli, I'd like you to take me there, and... Whoa, wait, don't tell me you're dragging me into this, too. I'd like you to come, too. You were my first friend, and the one who rescued me and all. Sounds to me like you had some involvement with what happened. If you're truly an adult, as you claim, then why not show some sincerity? Alright, fine. Jeez, the guy can't catch a break. Now that that's settled, Jude, aren't you going to invite me? But, of course I want you to come, but you have your own journey, right? So, it's always been a journey with no set destination. I don't see any problem with looking for what I seek while I travel with you. No, I'm just making excuses. I like you, Jude, so I want to travel with you. Is that a good enough reason? Thanks, I'll help you with your journey too. Excuse me? I hate to interrupt just as it's getting all emotional, but let's at least go and get ourselves properly prepared before we leave. In that case, in addition to your payment, I'll entrust you with what I have on me. It should help us a bit in getting things for the trip. It's teamwork with our wallets, too. Jude's companions strengthen their combat power by acquiring new weapons by purchasing them in shops, for example. Jude, however, strengthens his own combat power by customizing the power of his arm. You will perform arm customizations only at breakpoints, and you will need Yuli's arm control ability to do so. Okay, so all of these are dragon fossils, so I can't do those. Well, at least resetting doesn't cost anything. Okay, so it's not the likelihood of critical hits, it's the strength of critical hits.
been more than 10 years since the end of the war. Some even claim that the post-war period has come to an end. But is it really over? Have the raging flames of war been extinguished? Can the people sleep peacefully through the night? For those who would seek the truth, allow me to clear the veil from your eyes. The war is not over. The chaos which gave rise to the war continues. A growing anarchy threatens to blot out our future like a dark cloud. Yet piercing this darkness is a lance, a weapon of conviction. This lance is Brionac, and we shall herald the future. It looks like all our elite peers are assembled.
Oh, really? All of us? But what about Commander Kresnik and Jeremy? And besides...
Silly Heath, he got himself killed a long time ago. So it's impossible for all of us to get together anymore. Yes. Poor Heath.
These gatherings are always so amateur. You'd never think this was a group of elite soldiers.
If only I'd gone out in a blaze of glory, I wouldn't have to suffer this ignominious fate.
It's all right. Don't worry, my dear. The only one who's eager to die is that grisly old macho man over there. After all, I am a Crimson Noble. I won't be dying that easily.
Scythe, if something were to happen to you, I don't know what I'd do. I'd probably lose my mind.
Oh my, get a room, you two. Or maybe we ought to show them a thing or two ourselves,
I, too, enjoy a good laugh every now and then. But perhaps now is not the best time, Commander Farmel.
I have a special assignment for you all. This is a task pertaining to case number 354. We need to recover that girl, the test subject. I've dispatched Jeremy to get a head start on this mission.
Well, now we know why Jeremy's not here. But that still leaves two questions. For one, none of us are amateurs. Each member of Brionac is equivalent to an entire battalion. Sending Jeremy alone should suffice. Why then are the rest of us here?
The recovery of the girl is a top priority for our esteemed High Council. Though they didn't explain why the task was so important, failure is not an option.
A group of tired old men chasing after an innocent little girl. Honestly, what is this world coming to?
And one more thing. We've confirmed the awakening of an arm. According to the reports, however, it doesn't appear as though the girl was wielding it.
Arms, the legendary weapons of the noble war heroes. So, an arm-wielding warrior has appeared.
Though I'm confident in Jeremy's abilities, the importance of this task makes it necessary for us to have backup plans.
Very well. And I will be providing updates on the mission as they arrive.
All right, here's another question. We're supposed to bring in that girl unharmed, isn't that correct? If that's the case, is Jeremy the best option? Considering his personality, I can't say he's an ideal candidate.
He was assigned to this mission only because he happened to be on standby in this area. But there's no need for you to worry. We've already dispatched a gallant knight to watch over her.
The Pale Rider. That makes sense. Commander Kresnik's really nice to girls.
I see. Commander Kresnik is Jeremy's chaperone. He certainly fits the bill, but those two don't exactly... Let's just say they don't get along so well.
Indeed, Lieutenant. I just hope that those two will not let their personal feelings get in the way of their mission. Otherwise, as members of this elite unit, I'm afraid their punishment for misbehaving would entail much more than a mere spanking.
It's just that sense of humor is a bit different, you know?
Well, they say an occasional joke or two is essential for good relations. I wish you'd learn to appreciate my jokes.
Og's words of wisdom are gonna have to wait. For now, my peers, we'll need to focus our energies on the task at hand. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it.
Okay, so it's already looking like there's going to be 6 people that are going to be roadblocks. And I'm also thinking that maybe Arnaud is actually Kresnik. Unless we find someone later that is actually looking out for us in the shadows. Past this town, on top of a hill, there's a facility that used to house orphans. If we go there, we might be able to find out something. About you and me, and perhaps something about what those adults are after. This town's in bad shape, too. Is this also because of the war? Towns like this aren't rare, kid. The town I lived in was this way, too. That war destroyed everything. I want to know more about the war. I feel like I need to learn all about this little guy I never knew of. I want you to tell me about it. The war started a long time ago. Flames of war spread quickly and soon engulfed all of Fagaia. Massive conflict was caused by 2 groups that split Filgaia in 2. One of these groups is the Global Union, a group which consisted of national leaders from around the world. The other group was known as the Congressional Knights, a conglomerate of citizens who opposed the Union's absolute rule. Dictatorship versus parliamentarism. Although the 2 groups were in direct opposition to one another politically, they were basically fighting with the same purpose in mind. It was all for the future of Filgaia. Firm in their beliefs, the 2 sides clashed violently, and soon the flames of war engulfed all of Filgaia. As the fighting spread, the weapons that were used grew ever more powerful and brutal. Soon they were not only harming their enemies, but themselves as well. So the scars left by that war can still be seen throughout Filgaia.
Muscle to win a fight. Looks like I worked hard enough to cover everyone's share.
Wondering if I should really try to get too far into this dungeon, considering I don't actually have but about 20 minutes before it's time for me to go. Yeah, I don't know how long this dungeon's gonna be, so I think I'm just gonna head back to the world map and save. We can tackle this tomorrow. You know, I keep forgetting every time I play the PS2 that it doesn't have like a home button or anything to exit the game. You just turn off the power. So used to like later generations where you have to go back to like an OS screen. You can just quit the game and go back to that. But yeah, kind of shaky because of apparently Twitch issues. Like even now that I'm on, I see that I'm losing frames on this server. When I was on the other server, it was just randomly dying on me. And now that I switched to this one, it's not dying, but it is dropping frames here and there. So, with the exception of some Twitch issues, first day with Wild Arms 4 went pretty well. I can definitely see a lot of differences from the first 3 Wild Arms, but at the same time, there's also a lot of similarities. It definitely seems like they were trying to... I guess they were trying to, like, simplify and kind of polish off the normal JRPG, like, I guess difficulty curve, because it seems like we're not gaining stats as we level up, we're just getting those points that we can do to gain skills earlier, which I haven't used any of. Because you can either just wait until you get to the level where it unlocks, or you can use some points to get it early. And then it seems like every 10 levels you get to, there's like a chunk of stats that you get. Which I think are called the class level ups. So it definitely seems like they were trying to, I guess, kind of crunch the numbers that you usually get in a JRPG. Like, I think equipment is going to be way more indicative of power than actual level up stats. Outside of, like, your skills. Because your main stats are going to come from gear, and then your levels are mostly going to be giving you the skills, and that's where your power is going to come from. So I'm guessing they were probably trying to get away from stat bloat that a lot of other games have. But it's interesting. They were also trying to... It seems like they were trying to make the non-battle portions more interesting. Like by adding the kind of platforming elements to it. Almost feels like they were going for a little bit of like what Valkyrie Profile did. And the only thing that I miss from that, and I said it when we basically got to that Ruins dungeon, is that one of the things that was kind of, I guess, part of the identity of Wild Arms was that as you went through the game, all your characters accumulated gadgets, which were essentially just items that you could use to solve puzzles in the dungeons and overworld and everything else. And it seems like this one, they kind of just replaced it with just like pick up and drop tools that you find within the dungeon itself. I don't think I like that change. I feel like that was a step backwards. But I'm thinking that maybe they bring them back for 5, because I've heard I have heard that while this one changes a lot, and a lot of those changes do make it into 5 is the more polished. Like, they polish all of the changes that they attempted in 4. So I guess when we get to 5, we'll find out, which might not be for a while, because we have to finish this game, and then the game after that is going to be Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, which is what Nami chose with the redeeming of the next game. So that's going to be a long one. So this game and that game, it's going to be a while before we get to Wild Arms 5. Yep. I knew as soon as he was here, like at the beginning of the stream, and as soon as I saw him redeem it, I knew he was picking, just because of those conversations where we were having, where I was basically saying that that I feel like that the fact that he's like watering down his vision a little bit over time to get more popularity. I figured Nami was going to get me to play it. He's probably hoping that by the end of it, I'm going to take back what I said, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to. I don't doubt that it's going to be a good story, but I do highly doubt that it's going to be on the level of Xenogears. Probably not even if I were to make it all the way to Xenoblade Chronicles 3 will it reach that level. For reasons that I explained yesterday. A, Soraya Saga not being involved anymore, with her actually being a very instrumental part of building the story along with Takahashi. And B, by Takahashi's own admission, ever since he had kids, he's not willing to go as dark and deep as he used to. I have been. Only reason I've been dodging it is the gameplay, the MMO style fighting. I'm not a fan. I've played other games where the battle system is MMO style, and at most I tolerate it for the other portions of the game. Yeah, that's to say, I'm not at all saying it's going to be bad. I don't think it's going to be bad. I'm sure it's going to be good, but I definitely, and like I said, even by his own admission, I definitely feel like the time where he was willing and able to create another story on that level is past. So if it's going to happen again, it's going to have to be from somebody else. But I guess let me go ahead and give callouts and get out of here, because seeing that I'm looking at my bit rate right now, and it looks like a fucking yo-yo. So I think I'm definitely gonna switch it back to the server I was using before, and try re-inputting my stream key, like you said. Hopefully it won't just drop like it did a couple of times today. But Ragna, Samato, Orenji, Nami, Haidaru. Thank you all for coming in and chatting with me while I play, and thank you to anybody else who may have been lurking and watching. It's always appreciated. We will be continuing the same time tomorrow, 2 a.m. Central Time. Check schedule below what time that is in your area. And as for right now, let me see if I can find someone to raid. Guess let's just go ahead and jump in on Kaz, who was playing Trails in the Sky, second chapter. So we can go watch the incestuous stalker sister try to get back her brother that rightfully escaped and tried to have his own life. So, as per usual, let's go ahead and jump in, say hi. Hope to see you all next time, and until then.
Bye-bye, everybody!